can get everybody on. I am recording it as well, so I will be posting it. If I'm granted permission for it to record, because lately with the energies being the way they have been, I go to make a recording and it just doesn't happen. So that's just, and for those of you who are kind of new to this conversation of energies, we're in a very heightened time right now where the energies are very high and they tend to kind of like mess with us, especially with the electronics. So that's a really interesting way to see when, you know, folks from the other realms are with us, whether they be ancestors or intergalactic families, or yeah, it's gonna be one of those kind of conversations. So if you're here because you've resonated with something that you've seen of mine, whether it was Instagram or Facebook or my website, or I've crossed paths with you, or you're an old client or a present client, I see you. But you resonate with this message, that's why you're here. So really allow yourselves to be fully present in the here and the now. So for any of you that are still kind of shuffling around, get yourself settled. Allow your hands to be free. So place your phone down if it's in your hands right now, or your laptop down. Right? No one's going to be seeing you, so you could just place it down. You could just listen. Right, and just allow yourself to be present with my voice, and allow yourself to relax your body. All right, if you're sitting, make sure you're sitting up nice and straight. If you're laying down, make sure you're comfortable laying down. If you're going for a walk, allow yourself to be present with your walk, right? But I just want you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just being present, perhaps with your breath, allowing yourself to feel the inhales and the exhales, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Beautiful, just being present with the breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, and allow yourself to be in that constant inhaling and exhaling. Okay, my loves. So my name is Melissa Faith Ramirez. I am a transformative coach, or an intuitive guide, as some may call me. I'm going to put my headphones in. I just realized I didn't have them on. Let's get a little more personal. So, perfect. So if someone can just give me a quick chat that you can hear me okay, just give me like an okay or a 1 or a yes. Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, my loves. Just going back to just your breath. My name is Melissa Faith Ramirez. I'm a transformative coach. Some may call me an intuitive guide. I've walked a very interesting journey to get me to a space now where the inevitable is here, right? The coronavirus, as we're calling it. And I call this an apocalypse that's taking place right now. Not the apocalypse that we see in the Bible, you know, where the plague hits and just kills everybody, but more like an internal apocalypse that's taking place, right? There's been many, many, many times that we as humans have been told over and over and over again, we need to stop, take a breath, look within, clean house. There's a lot of stuff we're holding on to, a lot of patterns we're sometimes consciously seeing and not doing anything to face them. There's a lot of traumas that we're holding on to, a lot of experiences we've had that are no longer serving us. A lot of us are living in the past, perhaps living in the future, which isn't really real. Past nor the future is real. All we really have is the present moment. And you're going to be receiving a lot of guidance on that conversation about all we have is the present moment in this talk. Because all we have is the present moment. All we have is now. And now. And now. What happened a second ago no longer exists. What's happening a second from now is not even real yet. It's still an illusion. The only material thing we have is the right now. The fact that I'm sitting here conversing with you and you're sitting here listening to me. So I've been asked to have this conversation with those that are open and eager to hear the deeper meaning of the coronavirus, to be able to hold space for those that perhaps it makes sense, perhaps doesn't make sense, but it feels right, or it feels just in alignment with whatever you may have been experiencing, right? And we're all experiencing something in this coronavirus pandemic, all of us, in some way, shape, or form, right? Those of us that have been taking time to really work on ourselves are perhaps now in a space to be able to hold space for others who may just be beginning to wake up to the fact that they may not be living a life that's fulfilling them, or they may not be in a marriage or in a relationship that's helping them level up, or they may be in a situation that they know is not congruent to who they are, but they continue to remain in the situation or in the job, or maybe we're realizing, oh my God, we're wearing masks. We're all wearing masks. We're all not truly authentic and vulnerable with each other, and the coronavirus is here to start saying, hey, it's time. It's time, my loves. This forced quarantine that we've been placed under, okay, is really a chance for us to be forced to be with our thoughts, right? Because you're going to get bored of the phone eventually. You're going to get bored of the TV. You're going to get bored of whatever distractions you have, right? Because everything that we're doing besides sitting with our minds is a distraction in the here and the now with this pandemic so present, right? So you're going to get bored of your distractions and you're going to be stuck with your thoughts eventually, right? So there's like a forced purging that's taking place. You're being forced to purge what no longer serves. We're being forced to look at those things that we know we need to let go, we need to release, we need to forgive. We're being forced to look at those things so we can finally give it the space so we could heal. So there's going to be a lot of emotions arising from this experience, right? And for those of you that recognize dark night of the soul, have lived through the dark night of the soul, there's going to be much of that happening in a much faster rate. And for those of you that do not understand dark night of the soul, it's basically one of the many times in our awakening process where we realize, where we're kind of, there's a feeling of like a detachment taking place, like you're losing oneself, right? You're losing the identity you've been carrying all along, right? So this mass awakening to consciousness, some call it spiritual awakening, some others call it, it's just basically an awakening, a remembrance. There's a remembrance of who we truly are. There's a remembrance taking place that we are whole, complete, and perfect, just as we are. That's the awakening. The awakening is us remembering that we actually have the knowledge within us. We have this gorgeous inner wisdom, this gorgeous intuition that speaks to us all the time. It is always giving us these beautiful nuggets of wisdom to help us walk in alignment with who we desire to be. Then we have that pesky ego that comes in and says, no, 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 I'm running the show, and sabotages the intuition. So we're waking up to the fact that we have this intuition. We're waking up to the fact that we have to learn how to trust the intuition. Because when we trust the intuition, everything is at our fingertips. The work that I do, I basically just hold space for folks, detaching myself from ego, just being a vessel of information to stream through. How did I get here? I've done my own self-work. And it's a process, guys. It's not like all of a sudden I'm freaking guru of the month. Like, I'm human, right? We have this physical meat suit we are all living in. I call it a physical meat suit because we basically have been put into these bodies to have these experiences to help us level up. Okay, that's why all this is happening, my beautiful people. It's happening for us to level up. It's time. It's time to not work those jobs that aren't filling us. It's time to release ourselves from relationships and interactions and exchanges that don't allow us to feel full. It's time to stop doing our monotonous routines, unconscious monotonous routines. You know, it's amazing. Everyone's being pushed to go home, right? To work from home. So if you think about it, it's kind of, it's helping society understand that we can work from home. That's a possibility. We don't have to be stuck in traffic or in rush hour or in a train, in a subway, right? Just mindlessly losing all these hours of our lives, commuting to a space that perhaps is not even filling us when we can do it from the comfort of our own home, right? Where parents can actually be home with their kids, right? Where there could be more flexibility in what, again, we're being forced to do, to commune, to come together as a family, to come together into your quarantine, your people that maybe you're already at a point where you're like, okay, I've had enough of you, I'm ready. I'm ready for the detachment. But then that's going to be the process too, is being able to see how you're going to navigate those waters, right? When we're feeling that resentment or frustration or that cabin fever, because we're not necessarily taking care of ourselves. Okay, good. So first and foremost, my lovely people, the reason why you guys are on here is because you are what we call light workers. And if that's a new concept for you, just bear with me, okay? A light worker is somebody who works their light. Simple. And it could be in whatever capacity they so desire. I believe Kobe Bryant, who we just recently lost, from the human meat suit form, because he's still with us. His soul is still with us, but his human meat suit has expired this lifetime. Kobe Bryant was a light worker. Michael Jackson, a light worker. Right? And the list goes on and on. I'm a light worker. You're a light worker. And a light worker is just basically someone who knows their purpose here and is living their purpose, in whatever capacity that may be. And they're just shining their light because they're living their authentic lives, their authentic selves. So you, my loves, are here to really understand the message of the necessity to see the grander picture about this coronavirus, right? There's going to be a lot of fear that's going to be coming in, right? And I'm calling fear false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You're not being chased by a bear. When you're feeling that fear, you're not being chased by a bear. Right now, if you're feeling any kind of fear for what we're talking about with the coronavirus, it's not real. It's false evidence appearing real because you're not being affected by it in this exact moment. You're not being chased by a bear. So we have this conditioning that we've all been under to live in fear. And if you turn on the television, you turn on the news, you'll see it's full of fear. And they keep feeding us this fear so we can remain in fear and we cannot live to our potential. Because if we live to our potential, then this coronavirus will have no host for it to enter. So those of us that are going to get infected by the virus, don't despair. It's just a sign for you to buckle down and look within. That's all. The ones that are getting affected by this virus, the ones that are leaving this planet due to this virus in this time, it's because they're done. It's expired. Their meat suit has expired. They're on a new mission. They're heading off to a new mission. And I've been asked to speak with you about this so bluntly because, my loves, you are here to listen to what your role is in this coronavirus pandemic. Your role is to take care of yourself to the utmost ability, so that you can now hold space for others who are now just going to be beginning their journey. And that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice yourself and put on the cape and I'm going to come here and save the day and help all you folks that are just beginning to wake up. No, no, it doesn't mean that. It means that you have to be vigilant about taking care of yourself, first and foremost. It means that you need to quarantine yourself, right? To not spread the infection. It means that you need to drink water, more water every day. Perhaps journal, perhaps meditate, perhaps go for a walk, go for a swim, read a book. Anything that would be self-care that's not distracting, right? It's really allowing you to be in tune with your senses. Drink a nice cup of hot tea, being present with the smell of the tea and feeling the warmth of the tea go down your throat, feeling the warmth of the cup in between your hands. We are being forced to purge, and in order to be able to purge, we have to learn to be present. And that's all meditation really is, my loves. For those of you that are out there meditating, I give you so much love that you're meditating already. You have your practice, it's gorgeous. For those of you that haven't meditated or are, you know, some days you do, some days you don't, that's okay. Grace, give yourself some grace. But I want to just expand on what meditation really is for those of you that, you know, need to get back on board or are getting frustrated with meditation. I know times are heightened, energies are heightened, emotions are heightened. Our regular routines are going to get thrown off. That's okay. Okay, but at the present moment is right now. And in this present moment, I'm here to help guide you in understanding that meditation is crucial in this process. And it doesn't mean you have to go home, right? Make sure your back is erect. And no, it can mean you're going for a walk. And as you're going for that walk, you're paying attention to the tree. You're really identifying all five senses. You're feeling the breeze on your face. You're just being present. And you're watching your thoughts, right? So the reason why they have us sit in a meditation is because all of our stuff is going to be arising as we're meditating. And all meditation really is seeing that thought that arises, right? It's like, okay, I'm in meditation. Like, oh, shit, I forgot to wash the dishes, right? Because our monkey mind's always on. Our mind is supposed to work. Meditation is not about shutting down the mind. Meditation is just about being present. Forgot to wash the dishes. Oh, I see you, thought. I see you, thought. And because I can see you, thought, that means you're not necessarily me. Because I can observe you, thought, that means that's not actually who I am. It's not actually my identity, right? Our thoughts do not generate any kind of momentum unless we give it the energy. So just as quickly as you can have a thought that is disturbing for you, a thought maybe an ex-lover that you haven't gotten over, and a thought comes up that keeps reminding you, that keeps holding you back from forgiving or letting go or moving on. That thought comes up, that thought isn't yours. And you have a choice in that 1 second, that split second, to internalize that thought and say, yes, I am angry at my ex because of X, Y, and Z. Or you could say, you're just a thought. You're just a thought. And if I'm not giving you any kind of ammunition or any kind of energy, you're just going to pass me by. The way everything passes you by, because nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. We make it permanent because we idealize the situation in our minds. But it's not permanent. We're born and we die. We're not permanent either, right? So the conversation around death is going to need to become more mainstream, right? I've been asked to ask you guys to really explore the meaning of death, what that means to you. And it doesn't necessarily mean a physical death. It could also mean what we call an ego death, or a death of the old identity, right? This whole process of awakening is where we're shedding who we no longer need to be, where we're letting go of who is no longer serving us, right? Because let's call a spade a spade. We're always wearing masks. We act one way with our mother, another way with our father, another way with our boss, another way with our lover, another way with the neighbor, another way with the chick at the coffee shop. It's what we do. We're conditioned to do that, guys. There's no right or wrong. No one's judging anybody here, right? Because we're all in the same boat. We're human. We've been conditioned to behave this way. We've been conditioned to be offended. I've been exploring that a lot lately. I've been offended. Why are we offended so much? Why are we so offended? We've been conditioned to be offended, to see the outrage behind things, and then to put the energy in that outrage, and then pay attention to that outrage and derail ourselves from what we really need to be paying attention to. So you're going to see a lot of shit hit the fan. A lot is going to hit the fan, okay? By the minute, by the day, things are changing very quickly. Our norm is not going to be the same. We're all going to be developing a new norm. Why? Because we are developing a new earth. A new earth is birthing, my dears. A new earth is birthing. And this new earth is going to have the understanding of working from home. This new earth is going to have the understanding of what it is to really spend time with your loved one. This new earth is going to help us to understand that gorgeousness that lives within us, those superpowers that we all have. We all have superpowers. All of us have some superpower that allows us to live in our limitlessness, right? My superpower is I feel everything. Oh my God. So for you feelers out there, you know, anxiety and stuff can creep in a lot. Yeah, we just feel. We feel we know something. We feel it. We feel another person's emotion, another person's energy, feel it, clairsentient, right? I'm a clairaudient. That's my other superpower. I can hear messages. I receive messages. I receive voices. I receive information through voice, right? So it's like I have a ticker tape going on, right? With information being funneled through. Claircognizant. I just know. And it was a curse for me for so long until I finally owned it and started to really surrender to the process. I just know things. I knew this when I was 8 years old. I remember being in my church. I went to Sacred Heart Church. I was a Catholic schoolgirl. And I was 8 years old, clear as day. And the priest is speaking about apocalypse and just speaking about the end of days. And all I kept thinking in my mind was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I didn't understand why, but I knew it was bullshit. And then here we are, fast forward, we're recognizing, because then again, I was also kind of very torn about religion, about God and what that means. And I call myself a recovering Catholic, right? Because there's been a lot of conditioning that was put into place through my religion, right? And the reason why I kept feeling like this was bullshit is because now we're seeing how these pillars, okay, these foundations in our society, our economy, these foundations are beginning to crumble. And we're seeing it happen in different situations, right? We had the Me Too movement. We have Harvey Weinstein. There's a plethora of examples. We have our earth. We have our Mama Earth. What just went down in Australia? School shootings. This is all stuff that is going to be unearthing the realness of all of us, the realness of who we are, and all these masks we've been hiding behind is going to be coming up to the surface because it needs to be seen in order to be healed. It needs to be felt. You need to feel it in order to heal it. So be very aware, my loves, when things are coming up, and don't run away. Just feel it. You need to feel it to heal it. And is it going to hurt sometimes? Absolutely. Are tears going to come up? Absolutely. Are maybe moments of rage going to come up? Absolutely. But you need to release it. Whether it's through writing, whether it's just screaming into a pillow, if it's rage, if it's sadness, whether it's just crying in those shuddering moments where you feel like the world is about to end, it won't end. Just be present with your emotion. And that's what this virus is asking you to do. Be present with you. Because when you're present with you and you're taking care of yourself, that's what we're supposed to be doing with this virus to prevent it. Take care of yourself. Funny, we're going back to basics. Wash your hands, right? Like basic things, that sanitary things, hygiene, that should be, we need to stop shitting on ourselves, right? Part of life. We're being retaught everything. That's what this virus is here for. So we're being taught to self-care. Go outside for a walk, take a nice bath, meditate, read, journal, spend time with your family, laugh. Basic things that we need to come back to. We're too busy. We've got too much going on. This is a time to really look at, where am I spending my time? Right? Who am I spending my time with? What are they serving for me? What am I serving for them? Does it really feel like this is a two-way street? Because that's the law. It's a universal law, reciprocity. Give and take, give and take, give and take. You do too much of one thing, it's off balance, not healthy. You want the balance, right? So I'm being asked to remind all of you to take the utmost care of yourself so you can actually now hold grace for those that are going to be waking up in the process. And that doesn't mean you have to coach them the way I'm coaching. Doesn't mean you have to teach them anything. Doesn't mean you have to do anything but take care of yourself. Take care of your integrity. Pay attention to your choices. We do have a choice. We have free will. Can an addict, they say they don't have free will? Absolutely, and that's what it feels like at the time. But there's still free will. It's just an emotion they've attached to the fact that they can't. Pay attention to your vocabulary. Stop saying I can't. Stop saying I'm scared. Stop saying these things that are not serving you because you're giving it the fire. If you feel afraid, sit with it. Don't repeat it out loud to other people. Just sit with it. Allow yourself to see what it is that's coming up, what that fear is that's coming up. And then you could perhaps journal on it. Or you could perhaps do a video on it. I was experiencing this, and this when I felt this fear. And again, it happens to all of us. I created a video. I was flying to LA and I created a video about false evidence appearing real. And as soon as I get on the plane, my parasympathetic nervous system freaked out when I saw the masks and I heard the sneezing. And I had like this surreal moment where I felt like I was being seduced by the fear. I was being seduced to fall into the fear. And there was like this interesting struggle that I was experiencing and pulling away from the seduction of falling into the fear, because collectively we're in fear. Collectively, we've been imposed this pandemic that's killing people, and there's no cure. Look at the words they use to report the information. So please, if you're watching the news on a daily, take it a step back. Find a trusted source that'll help you just get to know the information if you need to know the information. But if you don't need to know the information, you're quarantined at home with your family, you're good. You'll get the information. You'll get whatever information is needed. We don't have to go searching for it. Okay, be mindful of what you're absorbing, because what we absorb is who we become. And what you absorb will absorb you, right? So laughter. Laugh as much as you can, my loves. Tickle each other. Go back to play. Remember? It's like a snow day. Yay! School's out. It's a snow day. We get to stay home. We get to stay home. We get to have fun with our family, the people that we love. Will it be challenging? Absolutely. This is going to be one of the biggest challenges all of us are going to be encountering. Not just you. No one's going to be free of what this coronavirus is bringing towards us. But I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because I know you can hear me. I know you people that are in here right now in the video can hear what I'm saying and can hear the deeper meaning behind what this is all about. So when fear creeps in, false evidence appearing real. I'm not being chased by a bear. And flip it. Flip the conversation. Flip the conversation with your people. Okay? They're getting anxious, they're getting worried, they're fretting. Flip the conversation. So what kind of benefits do you think we can have from this? And then give them the chance to give a response. Give them the chance to think about something different, to get out of that pattern of thinking of impending doom. Right? And you can do that when you take care of yourself, when you're grounded within yourself. But if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not grounded, that tool is not going to come out naturally. It's going to be buried deep because you got to come first. Oxygen mask on first, my dears. Okay. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. You've been told. But that's okay. Because you guys now have information that very few have. There are other people talking about what I'm talking about, but it's not on mainstream news yet, right? So if it's not on mainstream news, then the majority of the world is still asleep to this concept. So you're leaders, my loves. You're leaders, you're light workers. You're at the front line. And that doesn't mean, oh my God, I have this huge responsibility now. No, all that means is be aware, take care of yourself, watch your thoughts. Don't judge yourself. Just watch them like a detached observer. Put them in a cloud, watch them just go right past you. Know that they're not really you. Your thoughts aren't you. I am happy. Yes, you're happy, but just as quickly as you're happy, you can become sad. Because we have free will where we could just shift out of something. But when we know we have to feel something, we feel it. And that's the process we do. That's the process we do in this human meat suit. It doesn't end, it keeps on going. It just gets easier, right? Like when I had that moment in the plane where I was being lured in, right, by the seduction of the fear, I was like fascinated watching it all unravel. But I wasn't never attached to it. I was just watching it all unravel. And then 1 second to the next, boom, perfectly fine all over again. Fear's gone. Because I didn't fuel it. I watched it. I said, I see you, fear. You're not real. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly healthy. All will be well. All will be well. All will be well. You ever in a moment of all will be well, all will be well. Come back to the breath, come back to the breath. That's all we have. In the end is all we have is the breath. Come back to the breath. A panic attack ensues, okay? These things will become normal. And again, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to just allow you to understand what is coming. So you have the tools to use in order to navigate this pandemic as freely and as easily as possible, right? Because we create our own reality. We're the masters of our own reality, right, my loves? We create our reality. So if things are difficult right now, it's because we're creating it. We're creating that fear in our mind. We're creating something that's an illusion, something that isn't here yet. Okay. So I'm being asked to open it up to questions. If you'd like to, perhaps in the chat box, ask the question and I can open up the line for you, or you can unmute yourself as well. If you want to open up the video for yourself too, please feel free to do so. This is your rodeo, my loves. I'm just here to bring forward the message. How long will the COVID-19 last? Okay, so I'm not really being given a timeline myself. I've been given more instructions as to how to bring this information forward. Hold on a second. I've been asked to bring this information forward. Okay. I've been asked to bring this information forward in order to allow you guys to really learn how to be in the present moment. So a question like that is allowing us to see that you're projecting yourself into the future, right? So if we're placing concern as to how long this is going to last, then we're having an expectation. And when we have expectation to anything, we know that's a recipe for disaster, because a lot of the times our expectations aren't met. So it's not about time, it's about being fully present to what's coming at all times. And for those of you that are dreaming, okay, I've had some very interesting conversations today with dreamers. Pay attention to your dreams, my loves. The veil is thin. Those dreams are messages. And they're not necessarily messages of, they don't have to necessarily be pronosticos. It's a Spanish word. Hold on, let me think in English. When you're predicting, they're not necessarily predictions. They can also be symbolism for something else, right? So have a dream journal next to you, and when you get up in the morning, you journal out whatever's coming through, okay? And I've been asked to offer you guys, if you'd like, I can give you a link and you can book 20 minutes to talk to me one-on-one. And that'll be for those that are here present on the call. If there's one specific thing that you want to touch on that I can expand on with you. Okay. You're welcome, Karen. Would you please give me some examples of holding the light? Yes. Thank you. That's a beautiful question. Holding the light. Watching the chaos in front of you and know that you don't need to get involved in the chaos. Holding the light is recognizing when someone is in a state of panic and they're being completely irrational, but you don't feed into their moment of unconsciousness. You just observe. You hold space for them. Holding the light is eating good food, sleeping, pleasuring yourselves, right? That's holding the light. Grounding, walk on the earth barefoot, hug a tree, long hot baths, Epsom salt, pull out all the toxins, drink lots of water. Holding the light. Thank you for that question. Good. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, my loves. So people are still coming in, which is really fascinating. So I'm gonna put the link on, and 1 second, loves. Okay. If there's anyone out there with an ancestor by the name of Barbara, if you want to take advantage of the 20 minutes I'm offering, please feel free to do so. There's a message that's being relayed to you. So yeah, so I'm also a medium. I speak with the ancestors. And this is what's fascinating about when we do this work, this self-work, and we're uncovering our abilities, right? We start seeing that we actually have a lot of different abilities, and we get bits and pieces as we go, and we're just always training. So it's a pretty fascinating process. And if that's something else that you want to talk about too, is how you can expand on that, then please feel free to book that 20-minute, and we can go deeper to see if maybe you want to come into the training grounds of becoming your own best self, right? With the guidance of someone that's walked their own journey. Because we're all walking our journeys in some way, shape, or another. And that's another way of holding the light, is having grace for yourself and for others. So having grace for yourself. You fuck up, that's okay. You're human too, remember? Right? Forgiving yourself and keeping it moving. Are you sharing ideas from the disappearance of the universe? I'm not familiar with that, but I'm curious now of what that is. I'll look that up. So what's coming through is just basically what I've been channeled to bring to you. So the only reference I would have to say is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I'm a huge fan of that. He's a beautiful spiritual teacher, and he talks about what's going on right now in that book. And that was my Bible when I first began my process about a decade ago. So if any reference would be to that book, but not the Disappearance of the Universe. And thank you for your message. How can we keep up with your webinars? Absolutely. So I'll put in my link I have my Instagram and my Facebook, and you can just see on there. I'll be constantly updating as time is going, because things are going to be changing so fast. So please keep up to date. And you can DM me, private message me. I'm at your disposal, guys. Okay, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to hold space for you, to give yourselves permission to really understand the depth of this virus and why it's here, and it's here for our benefit, and how it's here to help us grow and help us level up. Okay, my loves. So pardon, it's getting a little dark over here in Hawaii. The sun's setting. I love you all. I will be posting this in my YouTube. I have a YouTube page, so I'll put it on my YouTube page. I'll put the link in my social media. And I'll put right here as well to do the 20-minute quickie. Okay. Are there any other questions, guys? You're very welcome, Daniela. You're very welcome, Jessica. I'm so happy you guys are here. So I'm sending you the link, and you'll find the complimentary consultation. And yeah, and like I said, I'll post it on my IG. It's at Melly Mo Faith, and my Facebook is at Melly Faith at gmail.com. Okay, I love you guys. Stay safe, grounded, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on one of these lovely platforms we have. Namaste.